We're taking a peek into geek culture and sharing our top 10 fandom favorites. Let Your Geek Sideshow presents Geek Culture Countdown. Hey guys, this is Kitty.
This is Andrew.
And we are coming to you from the Sideshow Studios in Southern California. Welcome back to the Geek Culture Countdown. This week we pawed and clawed our way through comics to find the top 10 superhero pets. These good boys and girls are faithful companions to our favorite comic book characters, providing aid in battle or a temporary break from the insanity of superheroics. These powerful pets truly make you think, who rescued who? Listen along to find out which of your favorite furry super friends made it onto our list. Let's get started. All right. Thank you for joining me once again, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
This was a fun countdown, but it was also very difficult because I think more so than any other list, I wanted to put every single suggestion that we had on this list.
It's a definite problem because almost every single pet companion or sidekick or anything has so much personality that you just want to bring them along with you straight into the top 10, but you can't. You have to choose. I know. We had to leave some of these little guys in their cage, but we did want to make a specification that we chose the pets of superheroes, and I mean, a couple of these people are maybe anti-heroes at best, or skirting the lines, but these are the pets belonging to super individuals. They don't necessarily have to have superpowers themselves. It comes with the job a lot of the times, but also we left off superheroes who just happen to be animals, because there are also a lot of those out there. We might have, I'm sure there's enough list for a totally separate podcast, but this is the pets that superheroes and some villains come home to after a long day on the job. So without further ado, do you want to get started? I do want to get started because number 10 is Gleek the monkey. Gleek.
Yeah, Gleek. for the two people out there who already know what we're talking about, like, good for you.
Yeah, and for those two people, I'm so sorry for how I'm about to say where he's from. Gleek is a blue Exorian space monkey and belongs to Zan and Jaina, the two Wonder Twins. He has an extraordinary prehensile tail that can grow, stretch, and constrict the strongest of humans with the strength of his tail. Gleek is incredibly agile and understands English perfectly, but he pretty much only speaks in monkey shrieks, but they're specifically Exorian, like monkey language chatter. So it's an Exorian language. He often carries Zan around in a bucket of water that he has with him, which seems to come from nowhere, but like that's another one of his powers pretty much. He is a friend to the Wonder Twins, and more than anything, he's there for them no matter what. And he's very fun. And I don't, because a lot of these pet friends are mischievous. He's not really mischievous, you know? He's just
even for a monkey?
He's about as mischievous as any monkey, but he's not like particularly mischievous is what I mean.
Okay.
You know? I don't know. But he's very fun. Yeah.
Alrighty. So number 9 on our list is the Pizza Dog from Marvel Comics. Call him whatever name you like. Arrow, Lucky, Pizza Dog. Just be sure to call him a good boy. He's a more recent creation. Lucky the Pizza Dog appeared in Matt Fraction and David Aya's Hawkeye series when he was rescued by Clint Barton from the Tracksuit Mafia. So Lucky, formerly known as Arrow, previously belonged to a bunch of gangsters who wore tracksuits, hence the Tracksuit Mafia. And he actually turned on his masters after Clint Barton showed him kindness, where it was very clear that these mafiosos had not been very kind to their dog. And so when the dog turned tail on them, they unfortunately threw him out on the street, and he was not doing so well. But Clint Barton, being the very kind and very human Avenger that he is, took Lucky to the dog hospital. And that's where he actually discovered that Lucky's name was Arrow, but he said, nah, I'm not doing this. Like, it's too on the nose. And then the dog recovered. He did lose the use of his left eye, but he became a invaluable asset to both Clint Barton and Kate Bishop Hawkeye, and he joined them on many of their escapades. And there was even a critically acclaimed issue of this series that was completely from Lucky's perspective, in which you actually learn that he named himself Pizza Dog. He considers himself Pizza Dog. That is one of his favorite snacks to be fed in Clint Barton's New York apartment. And I mean, New York pizza is the best pizza. Throwing that one down. But Pizza Dog has become a beloved staple of the Hawkeye comics. And it really also helps ground him as one of those, like, not street level Avengers, but he's definitely not fighting all the cosmic battles. He or Kate Bishop, they're just people who are really good with a bow and arrow and sleuthing, and they've got a really cute dog. So Pizza Dog is number 9 on
And
our
I
list.
love the poetry that you have in that, where Clint has got this perfect vision and everything, but he's hard of hearing.
Yes.
Whereas Pizza Dog has naturally a dog's hearing and left eye.
Yeah.
Right, gone. So they really wonderfully complement each other.
Yeah.
As every owner and pet should. As number 8 complements their owner. Number 8 is Topo the octopus. Okay.
One of our coworkers fought very hard to keep Topo on this list, so this one's for you.
And since researching all of these characters and learning more and more about Topo, like, I'm surprised that he's actually not the king of Atlantis himself, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So Topo's an octopus. He's arguably the best animal sidekick ever. And he is a hyper-intelligent and musically talented octopus. He's one of Aquaman's oldest friend, and in the New 52, he's much older than even Atlantis, because he's some sort of Atlantean legend that people fear. And while Aquaman has the ability to communicate with all of the ocean's life, Topo can do the same on his own without Aquaman around. And the same way that Aquaman can command any legion of ocean life, whatever. He cannot command Topo because Topo is too resilient. Topo is too mentally strong. And he's shown to have basically human intelligence. So nothing can stop Topo. # nothing can stop Topo. In the new Aquaman movie, he's even there. Topo is incredible.
Was Topo, it was the Julie Andrews character, right? The Karathan, the Kraken?
I wasn't 100% sure if that's the case. Like, that's...
I mean, come on. Like,
it's like the spiritual successor.
Yeah.
Is what you were saying?
If Julie Andrews is Topo, then Topo needs to be at the top of the list.
It's true because she's the queen of my heart.
And Atlantis.
And Atlantis, naturally. But as an octopus, he can fit his body through any obstacle. He can change the color and texture of his skin. Green Arrow even taught him how to shoot 4 bows and 4 at a time. 4 of them all at once. And did I mention the one-man band? Anyways, he's perfect, and he's number 8.
For 8 legs. There we go. Even better.
Even better.
Number 7 on our list is Old Lace. Some children ask for puppies for their birthday, but Gertrude Yorks from Marvel's Runaways got a genetically engineered dinosaur from her parents. Old Lace was specifically commissioned as a gift by Dale and Stacy Yorks in the 87th century using their time machine, and the dinosaur was developed as a telepathic and physical protector for their daughter. And this comes with the territory when your parents are supervillains, and then you got to run away and you got to take your pet dinosaur with you. The dinosaur was originally believed to be a velociraptor, but she's actually a Deinonychus. And I think Alex Wilder is the one who explains it to Gert. That's not a velociraptor. You keep calling her a velociraptor. But regardless of what species she is, she's from the future. She sports a very iconic nose ring. And Old Lace has a telepathic link to Gertrude and can mentally communicate with her. She's also got all the strength and speed of a dinosaur. So she's an excellent protector, maybe even more so than a dog. And she was given her code name after Gert took the alias Arsenic for herself when the Runaways were all naming themselves. So we got Princess Powerful and Lucy in the Sky. And so, of course, we have Arsenic and Old Lace in reference to the film. And she's quite affectionate towards the Runaways. She is physically incapable of harming anyone in Gertrude Yorks' immediate family, which kind of sucks when your parents are supervillains, but they put contingency plans in place. But especially in the recent run of Runaways comics, she's very affectionate, almost like a dog. And also, Old Lace makes an appearance in the live-action Hulu Runaways series. So, I mean, not every kid can say they got a dinosaur from their parents for their birthday, but I think Old Lace is a pretty good option, especially commissioned from the 87th century.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do in my spare time. I just go and get some commissions from the 87th century.
Just take your time machine and hop around.
What do you do on weekends? That's what I do. Let's move on to number 6.
All right.
Because number 7 is fun and lighthearted. Number
6 is not.
Number 6 is not. Number 6 is heart-wrenching. You guys will get that joke in a bit there. That was really funny. Deckstar the cat. Deckstar was once just Dexter, a nice, calm house cat with loving family. And that was all ripped from Deckstar's life when a burglar came in the night and attacked Deckstar's family. And
this is where we put the violin track. Super producer Sam, can we get a violin track in here?
So the cops came and found Deckstar's since murdered family and kicked the cat out because they were like, oh, cat shouldn't be here. Put that one out on the street. So Dexter wandered around the streets until two thugs picked Dexter at the time, picked Dexter up and threw him over the Brooklyn Bridge. Because when you're at your low, you're going to get kicked even lower. But in that moment, a red lantern ring flew in from space and basically Dexter became Deckstar and became a red lantern. So Deckstar is an actual red lantern who just happened to meet the leader of the Red Lanterns, Atrocitus, and they shared a bond of pure rage and hatred and sheer anger, but a bond nonetheless. And so Atrocitus, who is, I think, canonically the angriest guy in all of the DC universe, has room in his heart for the sweetest little kitty who does think of Atrocitus as his master. So Deckstar, the super powerful, totally demented, and very rage-fueled kitty, is number 6.
His hairballs must be like devastating if he's.
They literally
Red
are.
Lanterns they like vomit rage acid.
Yeah, that's literally one of the reasons why he was created, to come up with the most vile vomit in the universe. Mm-hmm. So
he does make an excellent special attack in Injustice 2 as well. If you are playing as Atrocitus, you can summon Deckstar for a time and he will scratch at your enemies. Deckstar also was featured in our Top 10 Fictional Cats podcast, which was the very first podcast we did. Saying the word podcast makes me think we should have had it as a pun, like paw. P-A-W.
Oh.
Okay, so retroactively, every time we've ever said the word podcast in this episode, it was a pun. Thank you. But he's also featured in another podcast, as well as number 5 on our list was featured in our Top 10 Fictional Dragons podcast. Number 5 on our list is Lockheed. Lockheed is Kitty Pryde's pet dragon from Marvel Comics. He's not necessarily a dragon. A lot of these characters, because of the nature of superheroics, they're dragon adjacent, or like it's divergent evolution.
Right.
He's technically an alien, and he is a purple extraterrestrial, part of an alien race called the Flock, whose societal structure was similar to that of an insect hive. Among his people, Lockheed is celebrated as a hero because he fought against the Brood aliens who captured the X-Men. The Purple Dragon also joined his new ally and eventually became a member of the X-Men with Kitty, and he helped out on the British superhero team Excalibur, which is my personal favorite X-Men team. They're making a comeback this fall. I'm very excited. Lockheed can fly. He can breathe fire and smoke. He can understand any language, and he speaks English, but he doesn't often, and he can resist telepathic probes from the most powerful mutants. He even brought his dragon family to Kitty Pryde's wedding, even though the ceremony didn't necessarily go as planned. But his dragon family got a free invitation to, spoilers, Rogue and Gambit's surprise wedding when Kitty and Colossus called it off. So I love Lockheed so much. He's a staple of the X-Men comics, just that purple little dragon flying around. And like the people who have dinosaurs for pets and dragons, it's always fun to see a unique type of animal. Cats and dogs are fabulous, and that's why so many of these characters have them. But, I mean, who wouldn't want a little tiny shoulder dragon? So
I know I do.
You and me both, buddy. So Lockheed is number 5 on our list.
Well, keeping on the train of non-traditional pets, let's move on to number 4. Couple of cackling hyenas, Bud and Lou. Bud and Lou are the pet laughing hyenas of Harley Quinn. These two loyal hyenas have been featured in nearly every series with Harley herself, from Batman the Animated Series to even the video game Injustice 2, which we were just talking about.
That one is particularly devastating because it's her, because like where Deckstar shows up, it's like he stays on the screen and he's like a little special move that you can summon. Like Batman has one where it's like little bat drones. Harley's like ultimate move is her hyenas, and she sicks Bud and Lou on whoever she's fighting, and you have to watch the character get like eviscerated by, she's like, babies, it's snack time, and then you have to just watch whoever is against her get eviscerated by Bud and Lou. And I usually play her against the Joker because it's very satisfying in that universe to see her take on Mr. J. But they're terrifying.
Oh yeah.
For as cute as their laughter is.
Oh yeah.
They're scary.
They're absolutely horrifying, but they are like extraordinarily loyal. Like there are some pretty loyal pets on this list, but Bud and Lou might be the most loyal of them all because they do fight against Mr. J, which is crazy because Mr. J has like also given them a whole lot of things. Like in the Krypto, oh my goodness.
Super dog?
Super dog.
Forget what Krypto is. He's a super dog.
Yeah. Krypto, the super dog series, Joker gave them, what is it? Giggle bubbles that are kind of like Joker toxin, but like dog version.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the Harley Quinn calls them babies, but eventually it was revealed that their name is Bud and Lou after Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, the comedic duo. And they kind of live up to their names. They both act as those personalities in the Krypto the Superdog show. But they're both enjoyable and silly and terrifying.
Alrighty. Well, I just realized I forgot to put it into our list, but we do have an honorable mention before we hit the top three. Going to give you guys a little preview. Top three is all very good boys, all very good dogs, but we do have an honorable mention that incorporates a lot more animals than just the dogs. The Legion of Super Pets from DC Comics. They were formed in the pre-crisis continuity in DC Comics in order to save the Legion of Superheroes after they were mind-controlled by these alien creatures called the Brain Globes of Rambat. The Brain Globes captured the Legion of Superheroes in order to subdue Superboy, and then once they had Superboy, they had no need for the Legion of Superheroes, freed them. But the Legion found out that the Brain Globes could not control animals, and so they united from across different timelines. A number of superheroic pets, including the original Legion, was Krypto the Superdog, Streaky the Supercat, Comet the Super Horse, and everybody's favorite, Beppo the Super Monkey. Woo! So after they were all assembled and they saved Superboy, they went on their merry ways. They were part of different timelines because Comet the Super Horse was Supergirl's pet and came when Superman was Superman, but some of them came from the Superboy part of the timeline. It's very fun and very confusing. But this team was rebooted, in the DC Rebirth era and post New 52, and it includes Krypto, Damian Wayne's dog Titus, Streaky, Flexi the Plastic Bird. I will give you two guesses on who Flexi the Plastic Bird belongs to. Bat Cow and the Clay Critter, who is believed to have come off of Clayface. And other notable members, the Legion of Super Pets is getting an animated series, and there's a really cute comics or young readers book series that was, I think the art is by Art Balthazar, who does the really cute like Tiny Titans type stuff. Other notable members in that roster who may or may not be appearing in the animated film include Wonder Woman's kangaroo, Jumpa.
Yeah.
Storm the Seahorse, Tusky the Walrus, and more. All right.
I'm so excited.
So, jumping back to the list, because I was like, oh my goodness, we forgot somebody, and it's Beppo the Super Monkey. How can we forget?
How could we?
Let's see. We've got number 3 on our list in our top 3, and we didn't mean for them all to be dogs, but dogs are man's best friend, including superhuman's best friend. Number 3 is Ace the Bat Hound. Ace the Bat Hound's creation was inspired by the success of another super canine character who may or may not be appearing higher up on this list. And both dogs debuted in DC Comics in the same year, 1955. Ace the Bat Hound is a German Shepherd, and he was inspired by other famous film German Shepherds like Rin Tin Tin and Ace the Wonder Dog. And the story of how he came into Bruce Wayne's ownership is kind of amusing because on his adventures as Batman, Bruce Wayne found the dog, and his owner had been separated from him. So he took the dog and created lost dog posters, and he posted them as Bruce Wayne. But he wanted to keep the dog around for superhero combatants, and the dog was a very useful, very heroic dog. But he goes, oh my goodness, people are going to make the connection that Bruce Wayne found a lost dog, and Batman is suddenly fighting with a super dog. So what does Batman do? World's greatest detective, foolproof plan. He gives Ace the Bat Hound a bat symbol on his collar, which he replaced the name tag with a bat symbol, and he gave the dog a domino mask. Perfectly foolproof. No one would recognize. But again, Bruce Wayne and Robin eventually did take take the dog. They reunited him with his owner, but his owner said, I can't care for him. You take on Ace. And so Ace the Bat Hound became a loyal part of the Batman and Robin family. He has appeared in numerous animated adaptations, and he's around sometimes. He's not necessarily the linchpin in all of Batman's crime-solving capabilities, but this loyal dog sure does have a nose for sniffing out crime with the world's greatest detective. I love that the world, like the Batman himself was like, oh my gosh, people are going to be smart enough to realize that Bruce Wayne found a dog and Batman now has a dog. But if I put a mask on this dog, it's foolproof.
Well, that could be any dog.
Yeah, it could be any dog.
Under that mask. My goodness. Greatest detective. Number 2 is another sweet little pupper, except little is not the word I would use to describe him. It's Lockjaw. Lockjaw is the impossibly large canine companion to the Inhumans royal family. He was subjected to the process of pterogenesis while in the womb, actually making him an Inhuman as well. None of his siblings in the womb were turned into Inhumans, though, and he was worried about them, so he used his newfound power before he was even born of teleportation, and he teleported all of his siblings away and then went back, and he's like, all right, we're good. Like, we got it. They're secret now. They're safe. So yeah, Lockjaw has the ability to teleport and track scents at any distance. In fact, Lockjaw can teleport and track from other dimensions even. He can teleport other people along with him and carry an extraordinary amount of weight along the way. He's teleported the Inhumans' foes to the negative zone. He's teleported through other dimensions. And he's even teleported, most frequently, to and from the moon, where the Inhumans' base is. So, like, there's no upper limit to where his teleportation or tracking abilities can go. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely one of the most powerful Inhumans, in my opinion, which makes sense because, you know, he's hanging out with Black Bolt and Medusa, so you gotta be
I'm sorry,
powerful.
you mean Blackagar Boltagon?
Yes, I mean specifically Blackagar Boltagon, okay? That's who I mean. Canon name.
He also did hang out for a brief stint with Kamala Khan in the first kind of, I think it was in the first or second arc of the Ms. Marvel series when she like took on her own mantle because she was an Inhuman, and so it was it was almost like a nice welcome party for some of the Inhumans royal family to kind of, and of course the good dog.
Such a good dog. More than anything, he's a loyal pet. He understands Blackagar, Boltagon, and Medusa better than anyone and is always happy to help them. When the Inhumans were in grave danger, Black Bolt didn't even have to ask for help. Lockjaw went straight to the Fantastic Four seeking help, knowing that Reed Richards would have an answer. He's always loyal, always playful, and the cherry on top is that he's pretty much indestructible.
Yes.
He's incredibly strong and practically indestructible.
And he's got a tuning fork on his head.
That is somehow related to his power. Kind of unclear how it's related.
It's probably like a little like GPS antenna.
It very well could be a little GPS antenna for him to teleport anywhere, i.e. directly into our hearts.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. All right. So number 1 on our list, I just came up with this pun, and excuse me, I'm going to say that he's the top dog on our list.
Okay.
When it comes to superhero pets, DC's Krypto the Superdog can very well be considered Superman's best friend. Krypto the Superdog is a white Kryptonian dog of no specified breed, although Krypton's parallel evolution quite closely resembles that of Earth, and he has sometimes been portrayed as a Labrador Retriever. He was Kal-El's childhood companion, but during the destruction of Krypton, his pod was knocked off course and eventually landed on Earth, reuniting with his teenaged master, Superboy. So he was introduced during the Superboy era of Superman comics. And due to Earth's yellow sun and his Kryptonian physiology, this alien dog has the same powers as an adult Kryptonian, and it's proportional in strength to a dog's. These powers include super senses of smell and hearing, strength, flight, and occasionally super canine intelligence. There's been some debate about how smart he is. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he's just a typical dog who seems to understand his master, but sometimes he's gone so far as to have fully articulated English speech or thought bubbles because he is capable of forming coherent thought. He just can't speak. It's the one trick that Kal-El never taught him. He was even Featured in his own self-titled animated series in 2005. I loved that show. I watched it quite often. Streaky the Super Cat was also in that show. And he made a recent outing on the season finale of DC Universe's Titans, and he will be played by a real dog in season 2 of Titans. That's coming very soon, and they've been teasing behind-the-scenes photos of Krypto. But Krypto is kind of the quintessential, like when you think of a superhero pet, sometimes you think, okay, maybe they have a matching outfit with their master, and of course, Krypto does have the cape and everything. But I think most frequently, Superman, that kind of wholesome Americana superhero, is represented with his dog, and of course, Batman now has a dog too because Ace the Bat Hound was, and that's who I was alluding to, inspired by Krypto's debut just about 3 or 4 months earlier in DC Comics. But it is really one of those, like, what's the quintessential good guy kind of pet? And it's a good dog, and Krypto is certainly a good dog. So there were so many pets we had to leave off this list.
So many good boys.
Just like a couple quick shout outs. Like we left off Devil Dinosaur, who's also we chose Old Lace over Devil Dinosaur. But if you think we're wrong, we do have a short link for you to visit and tell us why you think we're wrong, or who you think should have been top on our list, and there may be a giveaway involved. We also had to leave off Red Wing, Sam Wilson's pet falcon, who did actually make an appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a drone.
Yeah.
Gosh, there are just so many. Black Widow has a cat named Liho, but I wasn't going to try to include him on this list because when we've got people like Topo and Bud and Lou, Liho
when
would
you
be
have
eaten alive.
Topo, do you need anyone else?
Yeah, this whole list could have just been Topo. He could have been numbers like 1 through 8.
1 through 8 for each arm.
So there are a lot of good superhero pets. We couldn't acknowledge them all. Someday maybe we'll do an addendum like of the next top 10. So it'd be top 20. But yes, we would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much. And we're going to recap just in case you missed anything. So to recap our list, honorable mention goes to the Legion of Super Pets. Number 10 is Gleek the monkey. Number 9 is Lucky the pizza dog. Number 8 is Topo the octopus. Number 7 is Old Lace the dinosaur. Number 6 is Deckstar the cat. Number 5 is Lockheed the dragon. Number 4 are Bud and Lou the hyenas. Number 3 is Ace the bat hound. Number 2 is Lockjaw the dog. And number 1 is Krypto the super dog. So did this list have you wagging your tail? Or do we need to get out the squirt bottle? If we missed something that you think should be on the list, be sure to leave us your feedback at side.show/countdown. From there, send us your opinions on this week's countdown and be entered to win your very own Supergirl vinyl collectible from DC Collectibles, featuring her very own super pet, Streaky. This contest closes on Friday, October 11th, 2019, so don't delay. Thank you for joining us. That was the top 10 superhero pets. Do you enjoy the Geek Culture Countdown? We are proud to bring you pop culture content completely ad-free, but that doesn't mean we don't need your support to help keep us going. Please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform and help spread the word about our podcast. We welcome fan feedback. Email us at podcasts@sideshow.com with your thoughts and suggestions for how we can make our shows even better. Plus, tune in for our other pop culture podcasts. See your favorite comic and film characters evolve across 2 generations in the bi-weekly Then and Now podcast. Hear exclusive interviews with celebrities and pop culture industry leaders as they let their geek side show in Look Who Showed Up. Then get all the latest pop culture news with our daily briefing, a 2-minute breakdown of all the biggest geek headlines perfect for your Alexa or Google News briefings. We wouldn't exist without your continued support. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to let your geek side show.